I was outside on my second spacewalk. This is back in 2013. It was 10 years ago, as a matter of fact. It was July 16th, 2013. So 10 years ago. And I was, my spacewalk was a relatively complex one with laying some cables and then different tasks all over the space station. So my crewmate and I were in different parts of the space station, close, but with our safety tethers routed around the station. And then as I was finishing up one of my first tasks, I felt some water in my helmet.
I feel a lot of water on the back of my head, but I don't think it's leaked from my back.
Are you sweating? Are you working hard?
I am sweating, but it feels like a lot of water.
Now, the spacesuit has a cooling system that's with water. The cooling system is very important to be safe inside the spacesuit, but apparently, and I didn't know it at the time, my system had a irreversible mechanical failure, let's call it this way, where it started spraying water, the cooling water, instead of going throughout the spacesuit, went into my venting system in my helmet and started filling it up. And I know that people expect the water to just flow down, but in orbit, obviously, without the pull of gravity, it just kept filling up my helmet until it basically covered my eyes, my nose, my ears. I could only breathe through my mouth, and I had to go back inside in a hurry in order to save my life.
The crew bringing Luca through the hatch into the equipment lock. They'll be expediting the removal of his suit, getting the helmet off first thing.
Yeah, what was going on through your head when you're feeling that water coming up?
Yeah, a lot of questions and very few answers. So I knew that there was a problem, but I wasn't too focused on that. I was focused on how to save my life. I knew that I had to get back to the airlock as soon as possible. The problem is that it was night when it happened, and the 45 minutes night on the space station in orbit is completely black. It's full blackness. There are no lights coming, there's no illumination coming from outside, so I could only count on my little helmet lights. But because I had water over my eyes, I couldn't really see anything, so I had to go back knowing having a very good idea of the orography of the space station, its geography and 3D map in my mind, so that I could navigate in the blind without seeing really. And I was well trained for it, luckily, because it wasn't an emergency that we have ever thought about. So I had to improvise, going back in the blind. I couldn't hear anything. Nobody could hear me. So it was really interesting because it's something that we had never tried before.
But you went out again on spacewalks, right?
Of course, I did 4 more. We take events like that as part of the job. It's we understand that there are risks connected to what we do, and we try to minimize those risks, but you can never make them zero. They're as low as possible, but eventually something's going to happen. So when something like that happens, it is part of what we do. We train so that we go past the event, and then I just wanted to go back outside to finish my job. Unfortunately, I couldn't go back outside the next day like I wanted to. It took 6 years to go back outside on the second mission, but then I did 4 more spacewalks. They were all successful. We had perfect behavior, both from the spacesuit and all the equipment that we used. There was a little bit of excitement on the last of the EVAs because one of the systems that I have built didn't want to cooperate, but we fixed it. So it's a great story, and I'm really excited I was able to do it.